Guys, welcome back. So I wanted to do a short video from Dream Plan Global Outreach, kind of where we're looking at global politics and trying to see how it will change planning structure for people, how it will influence what we can do, how it will maybe it will improve the world situation. And today is August 15th, so everybody is looking at the news from Alaska. Right, so today it's going to be the summit between United States and Russia. The presidents are going to fly to Alaska and they're going to discuss different things, what can happen. I'm going to show my predictions. 5 things, maybe a little more. And I'm not even going to focus why I think like that. So number 1, Russia will agree to a 30-day ceasefire if Ukraine agrees to the same and will stop mobilization and hold elections. So what that means is that means the end of war. I know it's a little hopeful. It may or may not happen like that. There could be more conditions. Maybe they're going to be just a partial ceasefire, or maybe there are going to be some conditions before a ceasefire can be achieved. But again, I'm hoping. So number 2, after elections in 2-3 months, elections in Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine will sign a peace deal. So not just a ceasefire, but lasting peace. With U.S. guarantees, where United States will act as a peace broker. Conflict, number 3, conflict will be frozen on existing fighting line. So that means that wherever the troops on each side are, they're going to pull back, let's say 100 miles from that line and freeze the conflict, and there are not going to be any troops close to the fighting line. Number 4, some agreement will be made that will make captured Ukraine territories a free economic zone, or some kind of some kind of entity, which would seem like it belongs to both countries. So both countries can save face, because that's another thing. Since Russia captured about 20% of the territory, they put in their constitution that all of those regions belong to Russia now. They cannot agree, so it's very difficult. So I think with President Trump, they will come up with some kind of formula that it's going to be free economic zone. On one hand, it's partially governed by Russia. On the other hand, it's partially governed by Ukraine, or some kind of compromise, which will free status quo and allow people to move forward and stop fighting. And U.S. will be, according to the agreement which they made previously, they will be mining rare earth minerals and controlling most of Ukraine infrastructure, such as ports, such as the gas pipelines to Europe, and a lot of other oil and a lot of other things which are part of Ukraine infrastructure. So, and number 5, I think there are going to be some kind of U.S. and Russia will sign intent to reduce 10% of nuclear arsenals, because they were talking about it for a while. Another thing which is possible, and I think they're going to sign some kind of agreement about Northern Corridor, because basically, if you let me share the screen so you can see what's going on. So this is the picture. Northern Corridor, when the ships, instead of going through Suez Canal, so the usual route from Asia, let's say from China, or from Asia to America, from Asia to Europe, is to go through the Suez Canal and in Europe, right? And that pass is much longer. It's about 40% longer. So the statistics from ChatGPT, Northern Sea Route, it's 5,700 nautical miles, right? The traditional pass through Suez Canal is 12,000 nautical miles, right? Or if you count in regular miles, it's 6,006 compared to 14,400. And in terms of if you count it with average speed, it's 16 days as opposed to 36 days. In other words, I believe that there are going to be some agreement on using that Northern Sea Route, where US and America will use that route together. They will build stations and they will build ports there in the future that will bring a lot of money, that will bring like billions of dollars of development. And another thing, I think they're going to sign some kind of agreement where Russia and US will mine rare earth minerals. The US will get access to Russian minerals, and Russia will get access to some minerals in Alaska. So again, it is very optimistic approach. There's no guarantee it's going to happen like that. But I think if that comes through, then a lot of wars and a lot of suffering and a lot of negative development in the world will come to an end, and there's going to be more trading and more peace, and that will allow to stop the killing. That's what President Trump is trying to achieve, and it will allow for a lot of prosperity, because all those billions of dollars which are going to war can be used to build something new, to recover. So let me show again what I was talking about. So those 5, plus you can probably add 2, the Northern Sea Route and the economic development, where the 2 countries will use the minerals, will develop rare earth minerals together and make a lot of money. So that's, again, the predictions. I don't want to explain it from the point of view, is it logical? Why am I thinking like that? Because in a few hours we'll know. And my explanations, they may or may not make sense. Like, what difference does it make? In a few hours, there's going to be summit, and we'll know for sure what happened, what didn't happen. So that's it for the predictions. The only other thing I wanted to share is that I wanted to make the announcement. I'm developing the comics. I'm developing the comics for the to kind of like to promote DreamPlan.ai and to allow people to use planning in a kind of like in a game environment. So comics will be part of it, and the comics will have very interesting storyline about like secret like alien research like base in Alaska, and 2 superpowers are unveiling that, and there are a lot of adventures and there are a lot of things which are happening there. So stay tuned. There are going to be a lot of interesting things related to that. And this is AI generated like pictures. They're not real. Like you can see that this is kind of like a funny looking like AI pictures. And let me see. Like if you will look at some comics, they will look like that. It will be a lot of fun. So they're going to be separate announcement, but I wanted to do like something serious and something funny, something interesting. So in the future announcement, I'll talk more about the comics. Let's see if I can show you some the pictures. Yeah, something like that. So this is a good thing to end on. That is the picture where the humanity learns about its past and like an alien research and stuff like that, and the adventures. There's like espionage and intrigue, and like it happens in different like parts of the world. So stay tuned. So thank you very much for listening, and hopefully that the most bright predictions will come through, and we'll see tonight, August 15th. Hopefully gonna be on US time, Eastern time. I think it's going to be maybe around 8:30. Everything will start. We'll know for sure very soon. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.